donations, you by all means can Venmo me to Claudia-Jasper if you are so inclined. And I would love to obviously keep in touch with you all. I'm on Instagram, so you can always find me on Instagram. For those that are joining, it's under Claudia Jasper Yoga. And it's always a privilege to teach for Kira Grace, and it's truly an incredible community, not only a brand, but an incredible community. So, so I'm very excited to do this when I can do this and make the time. All right, any injuries, throw them into that chat box situation. So if you have things that you're working with, right, obviously first be aware of them. Secondly, pain, we never want pain when we're practicing, right? There's such a thing as good sore and bad sore. Bad sore we don't want. Good sore, maybe, I'm opening this up, this is a little tight, we can handle, but pain, never a good thing. So just being mindful, if you're feeling any sensations that are painful, I'm going to offer modifications. There are going to be a few shapes where you may want to utilize blocks to bring the mat just a little bit closer to you. No big deal, right? If you've been like me on a Peloton bike at home, my hamstrings are like accordion strings, right? So utilizing those blocks to help tap into those would be obviously preferable for me. But if you are comfortable and feeling more open, by all means. Anything else? Child's pose is home base. If you ever feel the need to come into a child's pose or any sort of restorative pose for your body throughout the practice, please do not hesitate, right? This is your practice, your time on the mat. I always think that's very important, right? Because as teachers, we try to modify and give you all sorts of, different shapes to play with and become more exposed to. But at the end of the day, really being more in tune with what's going on internally and physically, right? So taking what feels best for you. If there are injuries, of course, being mindful of that. You'll hear me talk a little bit about alignment as we move through this, through the flow. And it's really just to keep yourself safe and just protect your overall joint. And I'm a big fan of hip alignment, so just make sure that you keep those things all squared off. And yes, I also come from the yoga medicine family, so I'm a student of the practice. So again, you'll hear me speak a little bit about it as we move. Any questions? Don't hesitate to throw it into the chat. And what else? I think that's about it. Everyone can hear me okay? Thumbs up. Awesome. So this room has a pretty good acoustics. I am going to move with you. That's actually the benefit of this room for me. I created my second bedroom during quarantine into a studio. So welcome to Studio Jasper. New York City, you gotta love it. All right, so let's see what time it is. We're right on time. Let's do this. So we're gonna all start together in Suktabata Kanasana. So if you're unfamiliar with this shape, okay, it's soles of feet. We bring them to touch and we let the knees splay open nice and wide. Now, if you're dealing with any hip tightness, you can always have the option to place a block on the outer thighs here, just to give the hips just a little bit of support, some kindness, right? As we allow them to gradually open up, right? So softening into these shapes. Coming all the way down onto your back, so supta, meaning supine. And placing, if it feels authentic to you and your body, right? The left hand to the heart, the right hand to the belly. Taking a moment just to close the eyes and notice any internal dialogue that may be drawing up in the body. Recognizing it without attachment, without judgment, it's just there. And then bringing that awareness towards your breath, right, our prana. And noticing with every inhale through the nose, your belly begins to rise and the lungs begin to fill. And with every exhale through the mouth, feeling the belly draw down towards the spine and noticing, right, as we pay particular mindfulness to the exhale, this subtle surrender of the body to the mat. And part of this practice, as we breathe in and out, is to find safety, right, in the support the mat is giving us, whether we are standing on one foot, right, we're rooting to rise, or whether we're laying flat on the mat. So finding those inhales and exhales in through the nose and just start out through the mouth. Just take two more like this. Big inhale through your nose. And a surrendering exhale through the mouth. Last one like this. Big inhale through your nose. And a surrendering exhale through the mouth. Now begin to find our Ujjayi Pranayama in and out of the nose. Right? So our victorious breath. You may begin to notice that thickness it creates at the back of the throat. It's composing a raspiness to the composition of the breath. So it's not a loud breath. I attribute it more to a sensational breath. From this shape, you're going to extend the arms nice and long behind you. Right? Big stretch, just like when you're getting out of bed in the morning. And grab your right wrist with your left hand and begin to draw the right arm towards the left side of the room. And just begin to feel that openness that it creates all along that right side body. On the inhales will draw you back to center. Then on your exhale, grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull that left arm towards the right side of the room. Big stretch. Slowly come to center, interlock your fingers for me and turn the palms to the back of the room and just simply begin to press the palms back. Now slowly just lengthening out those legs, stretching now from fingers all the way down to toes. Right? I just did this a few hours ago, getting out of bed. Big stretch. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw that right knee close up into the chest, give it a nice big squeeze, and pulling that right knee out and away from your right rib cage towards your right armpit. So a nice big squeeze here. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw this right knee towards the left side of your room, extending the gaze to the right. Right, and maybe that left hand stays stacked on top of the right thigh. Aiming to draw this right shoulder down and maybe bending the right arm a bit like a cactus, taking a little pressure off of the shoulder as we begin to allow it to open up. Slowly come to center, draw that right knee back up into that chest, big, 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 beautiful squeeze. And then gently release the right leg down to your mat. Draw that left knee up into your chest, big, beautiful squeeze, pulling it out and away from that left rib cage towards your left armpit. A nice big squeeze here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take this left knee to the right side of the room, extending the gaze to the left. So again, maybe that right hand stays stacked on top of that left thigh. Maybe, right, you're bending that left arm a bit like a cactus or a football goalpost. Aiming to draw this left shoulder head down, by increasing the twist in the spine. Slowly come to center, draw both knees close into the chest, big, beautiful squeeze. We all deserve a big hug. And I like to take little gentle rolls on my lower back. Generally feels pretty nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to place the hands right onto the tops of the kneecaps, and we're just going to open and close the knees. So creating big, beautiful circles. So we're just building a little bit of heat in those hips, right? Wake them up. All right, notice, as always, any sort of sensitivity that may be drawn. Again, no pain. Just aiming to find that full range of motion here. And then we're just simply going to take it in the opposite direction. Open the knees to close the knees. You can take it fast, you can take it slow. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw both knees close into the chest. Nice, big, beautiful squeeze here. Interlocking your fingers, draw that grip to the outside of the right shin for me. And just slowly begin to extend the left leg long onto that mat. And for a moment, I want you to tilt the tailbone under, navel draws in, and slowly hover that left leg off of the mat, excuse me. And then from here, we're slowly just going to lift the shoulders, neck, and head. So what I want you to be mindful of right now is navel to spine and your lower back, right? Pressing it firmly down into the mat. No light nor air could pass through. And then all we're going to do is switch that grip. And switch. And hovering the leg at a comfortable height, that keeps the lower back rooted, right? So if you're noticing as you continue to switch that your lower back is rising or there's a slight little curve, right? Maybe you keep the leg at a higher height, keeping that lower back rooted. Navel draws in, and you're going to breathe here for 5. Right? We're not here forever. It's short term. Breathing here for full. Try not to make these crunches right with your neck. So draw the shoulders down the back for 2. And 1. Draw those knees into your chest, big squeeze. Grabbing the backs of your thighs, gently roll forward and back. And you're going to actually meet in a tabletop. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over those knees. Or plenty of room in between those digits. So I always assimilate them to pizza slices. So you think of a slice of pizza, right? Really taking up some real estate on that mat. Shoulders draw them down the back. Wrist creases are forward, and the eyes of your elbows are pointed forward. And on your inhale, we're going to drop that belly rib cage, tilt the tailbone up, gaze up. So finding that cow pose. Then on our exhale, tilting tailbone under, navel draws in, really pushing away from the mat, gaze in, feeling that opening in the upper back. Well, let's take 2 more like this. Inhaling to lower. Just beginning to warm up that spine. Exhales to push. Let's find 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhales to push. And last one here. Inhale, lower. Exhale to push. And meet me in a nice neutral spine, a nice flat back. And inhale the right arm to your sky reach. Exhale, we're going to thread this right arm underneath your left. Turn your right palm up to the ceiling. And start to lean that weight down into the right shoulder. Neck and head are laying softly on that mat. Extending that left arm forward. And for some, staying right here. For others, maybe you find what we call a half bind. Back of the left hand to the lower back. And for some, grabbing your inner right thigh and continue to twist. If you're half bound, inhale the left arm back to the sky. And then draw it back down to your mat. We're all going to use the left hand to inhale our right arm back to our sky reach. Exhale, right hand down to the mat. Now, extend the right foot to the back of your mat. Right toes are tucked, and we're just going to pulse forward and back into that heel for a moment. Just open up the back of the leg. We're going to come into a little bit of a sequence here. So on your inhale, we're going to lift that right leg, come to neutral, flex the foot, navel draws in, a slight tilt of that tailbone, both hip points facing down. Now I'm going to have you bend your right knee and kick your right heel towards your right glute. Then on your exhale, I'm going to have you tap your right knee all the way behind your left. Inhale into center. Exhale, right knee to your nose and hold. Back to center. So 2 more like this. On your exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Come back to center. 1 more. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Come back to center. Now draw right knee to right tricep and lightly place that right foot outside your right hand. Inhale the right arm up and find a nice big twist here for me. Then I'm going to have you tuck your back left toes and lift that back left knee, finding what we call low lunge twist. And roll that left shoulder, head back. Navel draws in. Then on your exhale, I'm going to have you thread your right arm right underneath that left armpit and start to reach towards the left side of the room. And those inhales draw you back to center. 2 more like this. On your exhale, thread. The inhales draw you back to center. Last one. On your exhale, thread. And those inhales draw you back to center. Exhale that right hand down to your mat. And you may need to utilize blocks, draw some height to your mat. Then on your inhale, lengthen out that right leg and just draw your hips back. Exhale, rebend, and a gentle love tap of that left knee to the mat. So no crashing down. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to rebend. Love tap of that left knee. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, a gentle love tap of that left knee. Then on your next inhale, lengthen out the right leg. Hop the left foot in slightly for our pyramid pyramid stand. Right, so again, utilizing blocks if you need to, draw some height to that mat. I personally like to take my right thumb, draw it into my right hip crease to draw that right hip back. And you'll begin to feel that left hip glide forward, keeping both hips square and in one line. Navel is drawn in, shoulders drawn down the back. And there's many variations to this shape. So if there's a particular variation you wish to take, by all means, please take it. And take 2 more breaths here. Sending some love to those hamstrings. And then from this shape, yogis, we're going to start taking a little journey to the right. So start walking your hands to the right, walking those hands to the right, keep walking them, and let the feet spin to their pinky toe edges. Right, again, you can bring those blocks on the journey with you. So the legs are nice and crossed, navel draws in, still maintaining that flat back. We'll take one more breath here. A little opening of those ankles too. We'll slowly walk those hands forward, and you're going to meet me in my favorite pose, plank pose. So step it back. Plank pose. So shoulders, stack them over those wrists. Similar setup to our tabletop, right? So taking up real estate with those palms. Think of those fingers and those slices in between as pizza slices. Those eyes of elbows are forward, and the shoulders draw them back down the back to get those lats involved. Kick the heels back, navel draws in, lift the kneecaps, and give the glutes a tender little pinch. Neck is long, crown of the head is forward, and you're breathing ujjayi in and out of the nose, right? So it's a comfortable breath. Then slowly lower one straight line, that moving plank, all the way down to your belly. Pull through to a nice baby cobra. Roll those shoulders up and down the back. The elbows point back. Exhale the forehead down to your mouth. Tucking your toes, push those seats to your feet. A tuck-toed child's pose. Oh, that felt good. And then meet me back in the tabletop. From your tabletop, we're going to actually turn our palms to face us. So give ourselves a nice little wrist forearm stretch here. Now, if this is too much where the fingers are pointed towards your knees, you can always bring your fingers to point towards the sides of your mat, so your wrists are actually pointed towards each other. And begin to find 3 variations of cat-cow. So on your inhale, drop the belly rib cage, tilt tailbone up, gaze up, find that arch, that dip. Then on your exhale, tilt the tailbone under, push off that mat, ooh la la, good morning to the forearm. Take 2 more like this. Inhale, lower. Exhale to push, mama, ma. Ooh, good morning. Last one, inhale, lower. Exhales to push. And meet me back in that beautiful neutral spine, flat back. Turn those palms around and just enjoy for a moment those little tingles coming out of the wrists and forearms. And from here, yogis, inhale that left arm back to the sky. Really reach. Exhale, throw the left arm underneath your right. Turn the left palm up to your ceiling. And again, head and neck are softly placed onto the mat. No crashing. Right arm reaches forward. And you can stay right here or take that half bind, back of the right hand, lower back, or for some of you, grabbing the inner left thigh. And just continue to twist. Inhale that right arm back to the sky if you're bound. Exhale it back to the mat, long onto that mat. And use the right hand to help inhale that left arm back to the sky, reach. Exhale the left hand down to your mat. Extend the left foot to the back of the mat. Left toes are tucked and just pulse forward and back into that heel for me. A little opening of the back of the leg. And then on that inhale, lift the left leg. Left leg is hovering. And again, navel is drawn in. This isn't an exercise for the lower back, right? So a slight tailbone, slight tilt of that tailbone, get the core activated here. Now bend the left knee, kick that heel towards the glute, and really feel that hamstring fire on. Then on your exhale, tap that left knee way behind the right, a little crisscross of the legs. The inhales draw you to center. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Reset back to center. Tap on that exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one, the exhale to tap. to lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Come back to center. This time, left knee, left tricep, and the left foot places outside left hand. Inhale that left arm up about a nice big beautiful twist for me. Tucking your back right toes, lift the back right knee, and low lunge twist. And then on that exhale, we're going to take that left arm, thread it underneath the right, reach to the right side of the room. The inhales draw you back up to center. Two more like this. On your exhale, thread. The inhales draw you back to center. Last one on your exhale, thread. The inhales draw you back up to center. Exhale, left palm back down to that mat. And let's set it up for this mindful movement we're about to take. So again, utilizing blocks if you need to. On your inhale, lengthen out that left leg. Draw those hips back. Good morning, hamstring. Exhales to rebend. A gentle love tap of that right knee to the mat. Pull that chest through, shoulders down the back. Two more like this. On your inhale, lengthen. Exhales to rebend. A gentle love tap. Last one. On your inhale, lengthen. And on that exhale, a gentle little love tap, right? We never want to crash into our knees. Then on your next inhale, lengthen left leg, pyramid stance, right? So having your right foot in enough to ground that heel to mat. Left thumb, I particularly like this self-adjustment. Draw that left hip back and allow that right hip to draw forward. And again, maintaining a flat back. Navel is drawn in. And sometimes, especially if those hamstrings are particularly tight, close your eyes for a brief moment. Visualize the breath just wrapping itself around your hamstrings. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take those hands on a journey, right? So begin to walk them to the left side of your room. Keep walking them, keep walking them, keep walking them, keep walking them. And let those feet spin to the pinky toe edge of the feet. And taking 3 breaths here, maintaining that flat back. If you have a wall right in front of you, and maybe you rest the top of the head on that wall. The legs are nice and crossed, getting into those IT bands. One more round of breath. And slowly tiptoe those fingertips back to the top of the mat. Let's come back to plank pose. Your core's best friend. Right, if the wrists are ever feeling particularly tight today or a little sensitive, you can always utilize blocks, right, as we move on our mat. Kicking those heels back, shoulders, let them draw down the back. And all we're going to do is take a gentle shift forward and shift back. Shift forward, shift back. Right, just a moving plank. Nothing particularly interesting, just moving forward and back, like you're sawing a piece of wood. And on this next upswing, let those shoulders draw slightly forward. Roll the shoulder heads down your back. Neck is long. Now bend the elbows, chaturanga. And remember, you don't need to come all the way down. Pull through to the up dog. Kneecaps lifted. Gaze draws up. And those exhales, lift the hips downward facing dog. So just be mindful, guys, that chaturanga obviously is optional. If you wish to take baby cobra, right, it's a safer shape on shoulders. By all means, do so. From your down dog, your upside down V, reaching those sits bones high, heels just beginning to draw them a little bit down to the mat. We're still warming up slightly. And maybe take a gentle pedaling of those knees side to side. Maybe you find even a little dance move of a bounce in the heels. Someone said that in a class the other day. I'm like, I love that. A little dance move. Pressing firmly into those palms, weight out of those wrists. Navel draws and engage towards navel or upper thigh, or even to your shins. Then on your inhale, we're going to roll forward like a way high plank pose. Just doing a little bit of a length check on that down dog. Exhale, pike the hips up, downward facing dog. And just take 2 more like this. Inhaling the high plank. Exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Last one, inhale, high plank. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And take a gentle tiptoe, a little walk to the top of the mat. You're on a little runway there. Feet come hips width distance apart. As you know, you can always measure that with 2 fists right in between your feet at your arches. Slight bend in those knees for me, and let's find a nice ragdoll sway. Grab opposite elbows, ragdoll sway, side to side. So we're going to be to come into some variations of movement, some salutations, just to continue to build a little bit more heat. And you're releasing those elbows, let the arms sustain along. Be very heavy here. And keeping us, unless you have anything going on that lower back, come up with a flat back. But for everyone else, coming up one vertebra at a time, keeping that slight bend in the knees. But everybody draw that lower belly in. Take a moment once you're at the top of the mat, adjust, clothes, hair, sip of water, whatever needs to get done. Bring those big toes to touch, squeezing those legs together, one leg only. Roll those shoulder heads up and down the back, allowing a little bit of a curve here in that lower back. Neck is long, chest is proud, turning palms forward, your mountain pose, Skandasana. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold, hinging from the hips. You can keep a slight bend into those knees. Inhaling to a flat back, hands to your mat or to your shins. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to high plank to start. Lower all the way to your belly, one straight, beautiful line. Pull through to the baby cobra, roll the shoulders down the back, elbows point back. Exhale the forehead to your mat. Tuck your toes, seat to your feet, a tuck to a child's pose. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. And let's take 5 breaths here, in and out of the nose. All right, so as we find this shape for ourselves, our down dog, we're noticing our feet for a moment. They're pointed forward. Right? They're in line with the ankles, in line with those beautiful knees. Notice, right, if you're falling into the arches of the feet, right, can you draw a little bit of that weight towards the pinky? Make up a little more full foot. And just aiming to draw those heels just a little bit closer to the mat. Navel is drawn in. The shoulders are becoming nice and open. Then inhale, bend your knees. Gaze in between those gorgeous hands. And let's take a nice big step to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold, just let it go. Rooting to rise, reverse swan out of the arms all the way back up, pressing into the soles of the feet, lifting those kneecaps, palms touch. And give me a gorgeous back bend. Push your hips forward, drop the head back. Exhale, arms to your side, Samasthiti. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling to your flat back, hands to mat, to shin, to blocks. Exhale, planting palms, step back or shoot back, Chaturanga, or lower all the way down to the belly. Pull through to an up dog or a baby cobra. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Taking 5 breaths. In and out of the nose. I always sometimes take a little sway side to side in my down dog. Three more breaths here. Feel that opening in the back of the legs. Final breath. Then inhale, bend the knees, gaze in between those gorgeous hands, a leg hop, top of the mat. Exhale, fold, let it go. Root to rise, reverse swan out of the arms all the way back up. Press into the soles of those feet, palms touch, gaze and look up. Find that back bend, push your hips forward, drop the head back. Exhale, arms to your side, Samasthiti, let it all go. Inhaling now to our chair pose, Uttanasana. So shifting that weight back into the heels, squeezing those legs together. You have one gorgeous leg only. Right, shoulders, let them draw down the back. Now, if your shoulders are a little tight today, bend the elbows, a little bit like a cactus or a football goalpost. And from this chair pose, just sit a little bit deeper. Keep squeezing those legs. You should be able to wiggle the toes. Exhale, fold over legs. Let it go. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhale, step your left foot way behind you for me. Drop your back left knee, untuck the toes, inhale the arms to the sky. And wrap that right arm underneath your left. So either a half wrap of eagle arms or a full wrap, right if the shoulders are feeling up to it. Pull the elbows away from the chest for me. Now lean back, navel draws in. Top of that left big toe is pressing into the mat, maintaining that balance. Take 2 more breaths. And gently release the grip, palms to your mat. Let's find a down dog split, right leg will lift. And from that down dog split, bend that knee, yawn, open that hip for me, pointing the right knee to the ceiling, getting a little hip opening here. 2 shoulders squared in one line. Then lengthen out that right leg, flex the foot, square off your hips. And just pause here for a moment. Try to draw that left heel a little bit closer to that, and your right leg won't be as high, and that is A-okay. Then draw that right knee to your nose and hold. Down dog split. Draw your right knee to your left tricep. Thread that leg through for me, falling triangle. Spin the heart out. Down dog split, right leg will lift. And draw that right knee to your nose and hold, shift that weight forward, shift it forward. Figure 4 down dog. Right ankle in front of left thigh, draw the hips back. If you were to stare back, it looks like the number 4. Draw that right knee to your nose and hold. Lightly right foot in between your hands. Rooting to rise, high crescent lunge. And from that high lunge, I like to put a slight little bend into my back left knee, right, just so my tailbone can start pointed down towards the mat. Your right knee is pointed forward. You're not gripping with the right toes, right? They're kind of still free flowing. Drawing that right hip back, let the left hip draw forward, keeping those 2 hip points squared in one line. Then on your inhale, we're going to lengthen out that right leg. Then on your exhale, we're going to rebend the right knee and find a twist. Right arm draws back, left arm goes forward, we twist. 2 more like this. On your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rebend and twist. Last one, on your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rebend and twist. From your twist, stay twisted for me. Flip the left palm and paint the ceiling or your sky. Tip it back, gaze down your right shoulder. Now for some of you, that right hand can gently tap the back of that left leg. Right, try to keep those hips exactly where they are. Right, we're twisting, utilizing the torso, not our hips. Open that shape up for me, warrior 2. And I'm going to turn this so you can actually see me. Right knee forward, back foot parallel or slightly pigeon toe. Just depends on your body. Right knee is not dipping inward towards you, right? So it's in line with that hip. Can you sit a little deeper? Giving those glutes a little bit of a pinch, centering that torso, shoulders draw down the back, and the arms are engaged, right? This is a power shape. It's a warrior. And again, you're not gripping with the right toes. Can you sit a little deeper in that shape? Then flip your from palm, reverse your warrior, tip that shape back for me. If this bothers your neck at all to gaze at right hand, draw your gaze down towards your left. Then we're going to draw that right forearm to the top of our right thigh. Extend the left arm long over here, extend its head angle. You're not dipping into that right shoulder, right? You're pressing away from your right quad. Navel draws in as you flip the palm, reverse that warrior, tip it back. We're going to do 2 more like this. So forearm draws to the thigh. If you want to spice it up, right palm draws down to your mat, left arm reaches over here. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, tip it back. Try not to change the legs. 1 more like this. Forearm to your thigh or hand to your mat. Left arm reaches over here. Spin that heart up. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, tip it back, and just pause. I know that leg is burning. Now lengthen your right leg. Try not to lock out that knee too much. Reverse the triangle. Finding our triangle pose, Skandasana. Now begin to reach forward. Keep reaching. Don't stop reaching. Keep reaching. Keep reaching. Keep reaching. Keep reaching. Right hand either to a block, your shin. If you're in Ashtanga and wish to take a toe lock, find a toe lock. But everybody be mindful of this right shoulder, right? Roll that right shoulder, head back. It shouldn't be up with your ears. And notice where that left arm is in space right now, right? If it's way behind you or way in front of you, can you center it, squaring off those shoulders, keeping them in one line? Right, and there's a very famous cue, right? Envision yourself in between 2 panes of glass, so lean back. Lift those kneecaps, especially if you're like me with hyperextension in those knees. Now we're going to find a half bind, back to the left hand, lower back, or inner right thigh. Lean into this left forearm. Take 2 more breaths. Now, get ready, navel drawn in. You can stay right here or extend your right arm forward and hover. Gaze over left shoulder. You're here for 3. Breathing here for 2. And reverse your half bound triangle. Tip that shape back for me. Bend your front right knee. Reverse your half bound warrior. And just pause. And then we're going to come back into extended side angle. So some of you might have binds in your practice. If you wish to thread right arm underneath left, by all means, take that variation. But if you wish to have forearm to thigh, I'm going to take forearm to thigh today. Lean back into that left forearm. If you're bound, you can keep the bind for this next transition. Gaze to your right foot. We're going to reach forward, find half moon pose, one of our first standing poses. Shift that weight forward, tense your right fingertips, upper right hand corner of the mat. Lift the back left leg, and if you're half bind, lean into that forearm. Use it as a support. And again, using the full foot, flexing that left heel towards the back end of the mat. Right, and if you wish to, you can release your half bind and reach the left arm high to the sky. Take 2 more breaths. And as if you were moving through something super quick, thick, and heavy, we're going to find warrior 2 very lightly. Woohoo! Flip the front right palm, reverse your warrior. It's all over. Now pivot your left toes. We're going to find Skandasana or skater. I'm going to demo skater. If you know Skandasana, it's just lower. So pivot the left foot, flex your right heel forward, skater. Don't be shy about that booty. Get it back. Keeping that left knee in line with the left ankle. Skandasana or skater to your right. So again, if you're taking Skandasana, it's very low. Skater is higher, butt back. Gaze to your left foot for me, yogis. We're going to pivot to a low lunge twist. So right palm is going to plant, spin that right heel up. Inhale your left arm up and twist. Now we're going to find a shape known as boomerang. So we're going to spin, once again, this hold is spinning to your pinky toe edge of your foot. And we're going to dip that right hip down to the mat. All right, if you're familiar with supported side plank, this is a variation on it. Then on your exhale, we're going to lift the hips to the sky. Inhale, dip the hips down to your mat. 2 more like this. On your exhale, lift. Inhales to release. 1 more on your exhale, lift. Inhales to release. Exhale the left hand back down to your mat. Take that shape back to the top. Now lengthen that left leg, pivot the toes, and start to walk your hands to the center of your mat. You should be in a straddle forward fold. From your straddle forward fold, keep the left palm planted either to the mat, floor, or to a block. Inhale your right arm up. Now, stay here or find a half bind, wrap your right hand lower back or inner left thigh. Now you're going to notice, I'm noticing it right now, your left hip might want to dip in order to make this twist. Can you use the power of your mind here to lift the left hip so it's in line with your right? And again, twisting utilizing the torso. Then inhale the right arm back to your sky if you're half bound. We're going to exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left and grab that left shin. Inhale the left arm up and twist. So again, finding a half bind here, back of the left hand, lower back or inner right thigh. And use it to help lift that right hip for yourself. Feels good. Then inhale the left arm to your sky. Exhale, oh my goodness, we're going to wrap this right arm on top of the left. Left hand is going to grab your right shin. And now your arms are crossed. Ooh la la. So notice your feet for me for a moment. Make sure that you're not duck-footed. Right, so make sure either your feet are pointed forward or slightly pigeon-toed. Now we're going to use this grip, and if you need to shorten your stance, by all means do so. We're going to use this grip to pull on those shins to feel that opening in the upper back. And just take 2 more breaths here. Keep that head heavy, right? It's 10 pounds. No need to keep it upright. Reach those sits bones high, take 2 more breaths. And gently release this grip, and we're going to walk the hands, journey it back to the top of the mat, rebend your right knee. Low crescent lunge here. Creep your hands forward, standing split, left leg will lift to the sky. So we're going to play a little bit here, open up those hamstrings just a smidge more. Now on your next inhale, we're going to tap that left knee behind the right. So kind of what we call a curtsy. And on your exhale, I want you to lift the left leg back to the ceiling. Try to keep those hips squared off as best you can. 2 more like this. So on your inhale, tap, a little curtsy. Exhale, lift that left leg to the sky. Last one here. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift that left leg to the sky. Now from here, we're going to slowly walk our hands back towards our right foot, draw our prayer to heart center, and we call this toppling tree. Use the power of that right glute to inhale your left knee up into your chest, arms reach to the sky. And just pause. Navel is drawn in, let the shoulders draw down the back. Then from here, we're going to wrap our left arm under our right. Find our eagle arms. So your back of the upper back should feel pretty open right now. And then from here, we're going to cross our left leg over our right, as if we were sitting at a lovely dinner party. Now, if this is too much on the hands and the arms, give yourself a lovely bear hug. Now, for some of you, you might be able to hook your left foot behind your right shin. But for everybody, draw that left hip back a bit. Envision the sweat beading from your elbows, drawing down the center line of the knees. Shift that weight back into your heels. Can you sit a little deeper? Take 2 more breaths. And then inhale that left knee back up into your chest. Reach the arms to the sky. Oh my goodness, we did it. Chair pose. Exhale, fold over your legs. Now, from your forward fold, guys, we're going to step our left foot all the way behind our right and find a crisscross forward fold. Taking a few breaths here. Last breath. Slowly step that left foot back to meet your right. Forward fold. Inhale back to your chair pose, Suktabata. So again, grazing that mat. Squeezing those legs together there, one leg only. Shoulders drawn down the back. And again, you can bend those elbows. Right? Taking some pressure off of the shoulder. I'm a big fan. Can you sit a little deeper into that chair? Then exhale, fold over your legs, let it go. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, stepping the right foot way behind you. Drop your back right knee, untuck the toes, inhale the arms to the sky. And wrap that left arm under right. So either half wrap, full wrap, or bear hug. Pull the elbows away from the chest, lean back. And for balance purposes, I like to press into the top of my right foot, especially my big right toe, and maintain my balance here. Inhale your arms back to the sky. Exhale, palms to your mat. Let's find a down dog split, shall we? Left leg lift. Bend your knee, yawn open that hip for me, and try to keep those 2 shoulders square in one line. And try to draw that left knee just a little bit higher to the sky. Then lengthen your left leg for me. Flex the foot, square off your hips. Pause here for a breath. And draw that left knee to your nose and hold. Shift that weight forward. Down dog split. Draw your left knee to your right tricep across that body for me. Thread your leg through, fallen triangle, spin the heart up. Almost like a string pulling you up. Down dog split, left leg will lift. Draw that left knee to your nose and hold, hold, hold. Shift it forward, Figure 4 down dog. Left ankle in front, right thigh. Draw your left knee to your nose and hold. I'm going to get a little challenge here. Left foot in between the hands, try not to lift the palms. Root to rise, high crescent lunge. Oh, sometimes always nice to have a little challenge. So again, I like to keep my back right knee bent slightly. If you have full extension, right, just be mindful of that tailbone. Make sure it's not pointed to the back of the mat and it's pointed down to that mat. So on our inhale, we're going to lengthen out that left leg. Exhale, rebend and twist. Left arm draws back, right arm forward. 2 more like this. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to rebend and twist. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to rebend and twist. Stay twisted here for me. Flip your right palm, tip it back, gaze down your left shoulder. For some of you, your left hand will naturally gravitate to the back of the right leg. Open that whole shape up for me, warrior 2. Left foot is forward. All right, so going through those alignment cues, most of you guys know these, probably like the back of your hand. So kind of just being mindful. The body sometimes immediately goes to it, right, especially if you're being more aware of it. But the knee is always a big deal, right? Making sure that it's pointed forward. It's not splaying inward towards the midline of the body. Right, keeping it in line with that hip. Shoulders let the draw down the back, centering that torso, back foot, take a glance at it. Then flip your left palm, reverse your warrior, tip that shape back. And draw that left forearm to the top of the left thigh, right arm reaches over here. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, tip it back, keep that knee bent. Try not to change the depth. 2 more like this. Forearm draws the thigh. Some of you, hand draws it all the way down to the mat, right arm reaches. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, tip it back. 1 more like this. Forearm to your thigh or left hand draws all the way down to the mat, right arm reaches. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, and just pause. Now lengthen the left leg. Try not to lock out that knee entirely. And now begin to reach for a triangle pose. So I like to kick my right hip back slightly, but turn it in a little bit to keep those hips in line. Left hand to your shin for some of you, a block. Or if you're in Ashtanga, toe lock. However works. Right, but notice the whereabouts of shoulders, of arms. Roll that left shoulder back. Lean back. Reaching towards the sky as you're pulling the energy down. So it's those 2 opposing forces. I'm finding I'm half fine for me. Back of the right hand, lower back or inner left thigh. I like to lean back into my forearm for a little support. Take 2 more breaths. And stay here is a great place to be. Or a little challenge, extend the left arm forward, gazing over your right shoulder. And make sure you're lifting the kneecaps, especially if you're like me. 2 more breaths. And then reverse that half-bound triangle. It's over. Bend the front left knee. Reverse your half-bound warrior. Now let's come into our extended side angle. So some of you may want to find your binds. Totally a great place to be. Others might want to find a forearm to the thigh. And just be mindful, right, with binding, especially if your chest is turning all the way down to your mat. Maybe find a half bind and really work on this opening and spinning of the chest and the heart open. Take 2 more breaths. And then gaze down towards that left foot. Right, where the gaze goes, your body's going to follow you. Reach forward, left hand, half moon pose. You can keep that half bind. I like to because it forces me to stack the hip. Right hip will stack over my left. And give me a little bit more mobility. Just be mindful if you have a radiator in front of you like me. Try not to bang into it. Flexing your right foot, kick that heel back. All right, this is our first big standing pose. Navel draws in. Find the variation you took on side A, whether it was Shavasana or otherwise. Take 2 more breaths. And like you were moving through something thick and heavy, right? So we don't want to collapse out of the shape, right? We want to have control as we come out of these transitions, in and out, right? Those transitions become just as important as the shapes themselves. Very lightly, warrior 2. Woo-hoo-hoo. flip your palm, reverse your warrior to the back. Now pivot the right toes. You're going to find Skandasana or skater. So I demoed skater on the first side, I'm demoed Skandasana on this side. So Skandasana is just lower, okay? It really depends on how open your hips are. So both shapes are good no matter what. Skandasana to your left. And just pause there. Breathe. Gaze to your right foot. Low lunge twist. So we're going to pivot. Ground that left palm, right arm reaches. We twist. Finding boomerang, I really do enjoy this shape because it's a nice opener also for my ankles, right, which are particularly tight generally. So dipping those hips to the mat. Now you can always shift this left foot down a bit. It will give you a little more expansiveness to the shape. And I'm just going to shift here so you can see it. Then on your exhale, we're going to lift those hips to the sky. And the inhale, dip the hips down to your mat. And just take two more like this. Exhale to the left. Woo. Inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Then right hand draws back down to your mat. From here, yogis, we're going to lengthen out that right leg. Walk your hands to the left side and find that straddle forward fold. And let me turn this way. I think you like the front versus the back end. So this time we're going to start with our right palm. So inhale, right palm plants the mat or block. Inhale that left arm up and twist. So we're going to come into this the exact same way we did on side A. Stay here or find a half bind. Back to the left hand, lower back, or grabbing your inner right thigh, but lifting that right hip up for me. Find that nice, big, beautiful twist. And if you're half bound, inhale that left arm back to your sky. This time we're going to exhale, throw the left arm underneath your right. Grab your right shin, or calf rather. Inhale your right arm up and twist. And again, stay here or find a half bind. Just being mindful of this right hip. It's dipping, right? So kind of lift it to meet your left. Reach the sit bones high to the sky. And inhale that right arm back to your sky. This time we're going to exhale, we're going to take that right arm, cross it over our left, and grab our left shin. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale, pull, and feel that opening in the upper back. Take one more breath. Gently release this grip. We're going to walk our hands to the left, back to the top of the mat. Rebend that left knee for me. Creep the hands forward, shift the weight into that left foot, standing split pose, right leg lifts. And then on your exhale, we're going to tap that right knee all the way behind the left. So think of a curtsy. Re-extend that right leg to the sky on the exhale. Two more like this. On your inhale, tap. Exhale, lift it to the sky. One more. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift it to the sky. Just pause there for a breath. And you can keep the hands grounded if that works for your body right now, or palms to touch, Anjali Mudra, right, grounding. And very slowly inhale, everyone, our right knee up into our chest. Arms reach to the sky. I always like to take a beat before I find any sort of standing shape, just to reconnect to the mat and feel that rooted nature of my foot all the way up the leg. Then from here, yogis, I'm going to wrap my right arm under left. So half wrap, full wrap, or a beautiful bear hug. Wrap our right leg over left, half wrap, full wrap. But everybody, draw right hip back, shift that weight back into your heel, and sit like you're sitting in a chair. And can you sit a little bit deeper? Squeezing those legs to the midline. Take two more breaths. Then inhale your right knee up into your chest. Arms reach to the sky. Just reboot, reset, pause. Strength and stillness. Chair pose. Exhale, fold over your legs. Step that right foot behind, crisscross behind your left. Crisscross of those legs, trying to forward fold. Take 2 more breaths here. Now I'm going to give an option here. We're all going to meet in downward facing dog. It's kind of a fun little crisscross option for a crow pose. I don't know what the actual Sanskrit name is for it, but we're going to keep the legs crossed. So option either, find your crisscross crow, which I'll guide you through, or step those big toes to touch, and you can shoot it back, step it back, and meet me in a downward facing dog. For those coming into a crisscross crow, draw those knees to the triceps, keep those ankles locked, shift the weight forward, and those toes are crossed. You're here for 3, 4, 2, shoot it back, step it back, we'll all meet in a down dog. Oh. I always find that one a little bit like baby crow. Baby crow for me is so hard. I think mainly because I'm closer to the ground this time. It's just a difference of the ankles. Makes it a bit of a challenge. So from our down dog yogis, we're going to inhale, roll forward like that big, beautiful wave, crashing into the beach that we all want to be on. Plank pose. And just simply drop your knees down to your back. And from here, yogis, walk your hands back towards your knees, sit up on knees and shins, and we're going to meet in our back bend. And we're in good time. All right, take a back bend of camel. We'll do 1. Hands drawn to the base of the tailbone, fingers point down. And rolling those shoulders down the back. Keeping the chest broad. So with the broadness of chest, we said openness of heart. And we want to keep that heart nice and open. Elbows point back, toes tucked or untucked. You can also roll up the mat if you need to for your knees. For those that have sensitive knees, I advise not tucking your toes because it puts a little more pressure on those kneecaps. And then begin to push the hips forward, drop the head back. Right? If you wish, you can also extend the arms back, make this a little bit of a core exercise, lean back. Grabbing heels or not, right? Hands base of sacrum is a great place to be. Maybe the hand is on block. Neck can be lifted, or you can drop it back. Take 2 more breaths. And slowly come out the exact same way you came into it. Sit down on knees and shins. Close the eyes, reset. I'm a big fan of a good reset. We all deserve resets at any point. And slowly, yogis, open your eyes. You're going to meet you back in a tabletop. Kind of however you wish to get there. Walk those hands forward. Tabletop. So we're going to come into seated Gomukhasana. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, by all means, you can take figure 4, either on your back or seated. I personally love seated figure 4, but if you want to come onto your back, you can, right? So there's always options with these things. So same thing we did at the beginning of class. Extend the right leg to the back of the room, flex and flip, those toe points are down. Now bend that right knee, kick your right heel to your right glute. Then on your exhale, draw your right knee behind the left. This time though, you're going to try to ground that knee to the mat. Start to walk the hands back. Expand those feet open, take a seat in between the heels. Gomukhasana. Now, again, you can also sit on the block if you want to keep the hip flexors a little bit higher than the mat. And again, figure 4 would be left ankle over right. So, Gomukhasana, figure 4. Right, keeping in the theme of crossing, crisscross, and eagles. Pulling those feet out of the way is a great place to be. Rooting that left sit bone down to your mat. It likes to take a journey to the sky. Let's try to ground it down to the mat. We want to keep it rooted before it rises. Inhale the arms to the sky. Now, we're going to take an eagle variation on this, yogis, so just be mindful of that. We're going to wrap our right arm under left by eagle bound arms. And just for a moment, we're going to take this eagle wrap to the left side of the room. Draw your gaze to the right. Take a breath here. And the inhale's draw you to center. Exhale, let's take an eagle wrap to our right, gaze to our left. Oh, that feels good. Slowly come to center. Drop the head back and lift the heel to the sky. Exhale, fold over legs. Now this can be very uncomfortable for a lot of people, right? So if releasing this eagle wrap is more in your wheelhouse today, like it is mine, walk the hands forward and just one edge forward, fold over your Gomukhasana legs. Figure four, let's try to get that left shin just a little bit closer to the chest, but roll the shoulders down the back and lift the heart to that shin and calf. Right, so try not to be too hollowed out in the shape, expand out of it. Take 2 more breaths. If you're in figure four, you can take a gentle switching. So then in this case, it would be right ankle over left. For those coming back into Gomukhasana, follow my lead on this. All you're going to do is I like to draw the feet a little bit closer to me. I walk my hands forward, come back onto my knees, and step my right knee next to my left tabletop. Extend the left leg to the back of the room, flex the foot, those toe points are down. Bend that left knee, kick the left heel towards your left glute, and tap that left knee all the way behind the right. In this case, we're going to try to ground the left knee to your mat. It's short term, it's temporary. Shift that weight back immediately off the kneecap. Walk the hands back, open up those feet, and sit in between those legs. So again, right, there are so many variations when it comes to hip glute openers, especially at the end of class, right? So figure four, I always find is one of the safest variations. But if you love Gomukhasana, I love Gomukhasana, and you have this mobility and flexibility in the hips, by all means, take it, right? So figure four, right, so we have our right ankle over left, all right? For those in Gomukhasana, it's right knee over left, trying to stack those knees. Inhaling those arms to the sky. We're going to do that same little neck twist. We're going to wrap the left arm this time on the right. And we're going to take the arms, this time we're going to take the arms to the left first, gaze to the right. Those inhales draw you to center, switching sides, take it to the right, gaze to your left. The inhales draw you to center, pull those elbows away from the chest, drop the head back, lean back. A little bit of a flying eagle. Then exhale, hollow it out forward, fold over your Gomukhasana legs. Keep the wrap of the arms or digit. You're here for 3 breaths. If you're in figure four, you're going to simply extend both legs long in front of you. For those in Gomukhasana, we're going to make it really easy. Walk those hands back. Extend your right leg forward. Extend your left leg forward. Shake it out. Yeehaw! That was fun, guys. Finding our final forward fold before we come all the way down onto our mat and find a few quick moves before Shavasana. So pulling the flesh away from the sit bones, again, feeling them root down into the mat and accepting the support of that mat as you root. Flex the feet, navel draws in, inhale the arms to the sky, really reach up nice and tall. Exhale, hollow out that belly, extending out of the hips, find your forward fold. Any variation, right? For some of my longer torsoed friends, such as myself, right? We're grabbing the feet is less of a feat, right? Mainly because we have longer torsos. Grab a block, place it at the sole of your feet and grab a block. And again, shoulders, let them draw down the back, right? You don't want them up in the earlobes, right? They're not the newest earring or accessory that one teacher said in class. I thought that was a great way to put it. We'll just draw them down the back. Take one more breath here. If you're utilizing the block, simply remove it. Everybody inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, both hands behind you, thumbs towards you. Legs can be straight or you can bend them and soles of the feet to your mat. Reverse plank or reverse tabletop. But everybody lift the hips, drop the head back, and maybe you let out a nice large HA. Ha. Slowly lower all the way down to the back. Woohoo! Draw those knees into your chest. Big, beautiful squeeze here for me. And from here, we're going to find a happy baby pose. We're going to grab the pinky toe edge of the feet and reaching the tailbone down to the mat. And from our happy baby pose, we're going to play a little bit around with it. We're going to keep the grip of our right foot here and left leg, let it come long onto your mat. So it's a little bit like lizard, but on your back, if you can picture it. And just take a breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take this right knee to the left side of the room and extend the gaze to the right. So coming back from whence we came 60 minutes ago. And take one more breath here. Slowly come back to your happy baby. I always like coming back sometimes to shapes that I began with because I noticed the difference in the body, right, from the power of that asana practice. Now, keeping the grip of that left foot for me, extend your right leg this time long onto the mat. Nice hip extension there. And this is also kind of a nice shape to do, so it has the block underneath the base of the sacrum and elevating the hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to take this left knee on a journey to the right, extend the gaze to your left. And again, maybe taking note, just any difference in sensation and openness. Any communication the body's having with you regarding. Slowly come to center. Let's meet back in happy baby pose. And from your happy baby pose, taking two long, big, beautiful breaths here. Flat back. Try not to bring the tailbone on the journey. Try to root it down to the mat as we draw those knees just a little bit closer. That final hip opener here. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw the knees to touch, squeeze it into the chest. Draw your forehead over towards your knees, finding our great lock, squeezing towards the midline. We're going to hold here for 3. Breathing here for 2. And 1, Shavasana. Legs drawn down to the mat. Shoulders draw down to the mat. Palms turn up to the sky. A mindfulness of the exhale. And an acceptance of the mat. Allowing it to give us support. As we find these few moments of peace. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. A gentle wiggle into the toes. And draw a little bit of life back in your body. And drawing your knees into your chest, finding a big, beautiful squeeze. Finding your way, your time this afternoon or morning for some. Making that journey back to a rooted seat at the top of the mat. I'm a fan of Suktabata, but if your asana is something you wish to take, you by all means can. Utilizing a block or any sort of prop to make the seat more comfortable for you. And once you've begun to sense that you've arrived to this shape, Closing the eyes and begin to draw that awareness towards the sits bones. I'm thinking of the sits bones a bit like roots of a tree, allowing them to draw down into the mat or into our earth in order for us to have that extension within the spine and or the trunk. We get a sense of the shoulders as they stack over the hips. And rolling those shoulders back, broadening up the chest. And with a broad chest, it comes an openness of heart. And drawing our prayer to our third eye center, our intuition, and guiding light on this journey we are all on. May it continue to guide each of you. Om Shanti, go in peace. Namaste, yogis. Beautiful job, guys.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, good. Eagle pose is one of my favorite poses. I love it.
Yeah,
It's still a
great.
favorite. But you're so welcome, Lisa. Everyone, any questions, please never hesitate. I'm always around. Obviously social media is the thing now, right? So you can totally catch me on Instagram, Facebook, or, all the normal social media tools and outlets. I am based here in New York City, but I am out in Colorado every once in a while. So sometimes you'll catch me out there. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of your days, your mornings. Stay safe.
I'm in New York, so stay warm.
Oh, yes. No, stay warm.
And thank you. It was
So I got heated gloves for Christmas for skiing in Colorado. And my husband said to me, why don't we charge them up? We may need them for the next few days. So
no,
if you see a
I
woman
had to
walking
lay-
around with these humongous ski-like gloves, that is me. And don't hesitate to say hello.
I had to
Thank you.
layer up. I know.
You're welcome. My pleasure, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your days and your mornings and your afternoons. Again, my name is Claudia. It was such a pleasure, and I'll see you all soon, I hope.
Claudia,
Thank
thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you,
You're
Claudia.
welcome, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.
And thank you so much,
Bye.
Sarah Grace. It's so lovely.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're here every week. Hope you continue to join
I
us.
will. Every
Okay.
week. Thank you.
Awesome.
You guys are amazing.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. We're so happy to offer
So
it.
heartfelt. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Barbara. Have a great